You're just in time to watch scientific history in the making. The world's first ever mind transfer. Never before imagined. Never before attempted. Never before...
Ivan, can we get on with this? We don't want the intro to be longer than the whole episode, okay?
Well, there's no need for sarcasm, is there? After all, it's not too often I get a piece of dialogue I can really sink my teeth into. I had to slip the writer $15. Well, anyways, here goes nothing.
Wait. What do you mean, here goes nothing? Don't you know what you're doing?
Of course I know what I'm doing. I just don't know whether this experiment will work or not. After all, that is why it's called an experiment. Now, just relax and trust me.
Why do I get this feeling I'm about to be barbecued?
Oh, I know that feeling. Ivan, I don't mean to doubt your scientific expertise, but you've had a string of not-so-successful experiments lately. Like that microwave clothes dryer that turned a whole load of Mr. Puttnam's laundry into doll clothes.
But it was fast.
Yeah, and what about the TV that reproduced its own odors?
Smell-o-vision? It had great potential. The biggest breakthrough since color and stereo sound.
Yeah, it went over real well, especially during that National Geographic special. What was it called? The one for World of Skunks?
Okay, so I've had a few setbacks. Look, I'll tell you what. If this mind transfer experiment is a complete and utter failure and your brains are fried to ashes, I promise to give up science and start looking for another job. Fair enough? Okay, everyone ready? Benjamin? Caldecott? Uh-oh. I guess I better start looking for another job.
There's a place we all can go. It's always been there, I know. They have things there you would not believe. So come on down to Puttnam's, and you'll see what I mean. New adventures all the time, and Mr. Puttnam thinks it's fine. You can be yourself there, it's alright to be you. You will find a friend and a smile or two. At Puttnam's you'll always feel at home. At Puttnam's you'll never feel alone. Magic's in the air, and friends are everywhere. At Puttnam's Prairie Emporium.
Out with the old and in with the new. First day on the job. I better get right to work.
Easy now. Okay, we'll set it down right over here. Good. Ivan, were you experimenting again this morning? All the sockets popped out of the walls upstairs, and the blender is still circling the kitchen.
Time to get up, Caldecott. It's the crack of noon. Caldecott?
Ivan did it.
Ivan did what, Mike?
Ivan made Caldecott the way he is now.
I think Caldecott was like that before. He always has been kind of, well, laid back.
Asleep's more like it.
No, it was Ivan's experiment. It didn't work. Just ask Benjamin.
Then, what's all this about an experiment that didn't work? Benjamin? Hello? Ivan, what is going on around here? Katie, is it my imagination or is my voice missing?
No, I can hear you, Grandpa.
Then everybody else has gone deaf. Ivan, what's happened to Ben and Caldecott? And why are you staring at the wall?
If walls could talk, would they have an accent?
Pardon?
If walls could talk, would they have an accent?
You know, that's a good question. I never really thought about that before, Ivan. That's very, philosophical. But getting back to my original question, what happened to Caldecott and Benjamin and...
my head.
Caldecott? Thank goodness you're awake. Caldecott, if you're awake, how come you're still lying face down in your basket?
I'm not lying face down in my basket. I'm up here, and I'm not Caldecott. I'm Benjamin.
Benjamin? Why do you have Caldecott's voice?
Oh my goodness, I do have Caldecott's voice. Ivan's mind switch experiment must have switched our voices instead.
Oh, my head. Funny, I don't remember drinking any catnip. Hey, why am I doing an impression of Benjamin?
You're not. I'm doing an impression of you.
Hey, you've got my voice. What are you doing with my voice? Come to think of it, what am I doing with yours?
Ivan's experiment switched our voices.
What? You mean I gotta go through life sounding like a moose?
I'm not a moose. I'm a beefalo. And there's a big difference.
Not to me, there isn't. They both sound like a tape recorder with low batteries. I want my voice back.
Okay, you two, quit your squabbling. I'm getting all confused.
Me too.
There's a very simple solution to this whole thing. If Ivan switched your voices in the first place, then Ivan can switch them back again. Right, Ivan? Right, Ivan?
Ivan, I think we have a problem here. Ivan?
If nobody had fingernails, would dimes pile up on tabletops?
What?
If nobody had fingernails, would dimes pile up on tabletops? That's another good question.
And if candy were better for us, would we eat it as much?
Grandpa, I think Ivan's taken one too many trips in the time closet.
If candy was better for us, would we eat it as much? That's a good question.
Grandpa, what's wrong with Ivan? What's he talking about?
Well, it appears that Ivan has given up being a scientist and has become a philosopher instead.
Oh, perfect, man. Just perfect.
What's a philosopher?
Well, Katie, philosophers are people who ask questions about everything. They're curious about all sorts of things.
That's it? They sit around and ask questions? That's my kind of job. No heavy lifting.
But you see, Benjamin, Caldecott. Philosophers ask questions in ways that nobody ever thought of before. And when they do, they come up with different ideas.
How does a person become a philosopher?
Well, Benjamin, first you buy a sweater with patches on the sleeves. Then you think about a normal everyday thing, and you imagine something about it was different. And then you ask questions about it. It's important that you never be afraid to ask questions.
What kind of questions should you ask?
Well, let me see. You know, Katie, how you take certain things for granted? Like the sun always rises in the morning and the sky is blue?
Yeah.
Well, take those things that you think can't change and think about them in a different way. We all know that birds can fly and that cats love to catch birds. But if cats could fly, would there be as many birds?
Definitely not.
Do you understand?
I'm not sure.
Well, let me try again.
Grandpa, I see what you mean. What's another one?
Well, Ivan, you're the philosopher. Go ahead.
If there weren't as many letters in the alphabet, would people talk funny?
Well, the song would certainly sound different. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q.
Or no ye good inga ganda.
I know. I old hem ha hand me fo haya.
Ganda or akin lufung.
Oh, okay. Now, he can see if he didn't have all he lee and he all havi.
Yeah, old Okfun, Hanami Kwion.
I do.
Hey, if you guys wouldn't mind coming back to the planet Earth for just a minute, I've got a question. Can someone who has suffered severe emotional strain due to a diabolical experiment sue a television show for every production penny it's got?
That's the spirit, Benjamin. Caldecott. That's a very philosophical question.
Yeah? Does it have a very philosophical answer?
Well, you'll have to take that up with the producer. But the point is, you should never be afraid to ask questions.
I've got one. If TV shows didn't have commercials, would people go to the bathroom less?
Oh my, that is a good question, Katie. But I don't think we better find out the answer to that one. From the looks of it, there's a few folks out there who are waiting for a commercial.
Now that you mention it, Mr. P, there's at least one philosopher here who could use one.
Make that 2.
I know what you mean. Maybe this would be a good time for a commercial. Okay, we'll all meet back here in about 2 minutes. And don't forget to wash your hands. Go on. There's no use sitting in front of the TV squirming. Off you go. We're having a commercial break.
Does that apply to the crew, too? Thank you.